Right, hello, welcome to Dave Devs. So we're going to look at creating the check-in. So I run you through, as you can see, got a blank page here. I'm just going to go to my editor. There it is. So I've got a blank page here. So inside the test channel, you'll have Race Director installed. You'll have it installed. Basically, this is where it needs to be. Into our settings, you want to make sure that under rules, you want to make sure it's not, you don't need it above owner, as long as it's sort of around owner level. Obviously you need to be higher than Race Director. Ignore this one, this is my testing one. But the Race Director app needs to be pretty much just below owner is perfectly fine. And it already has admin permissions, so it works as intended. So we'll go through the actual check-in, which is the bread and butter of the application. So we want to start with start check-in. Basically run the command, which is, ignore that one, that's me, development one. So start check-in, which is that one. What will happen is it'll send you straight to DMs to see if it's worth doing it, so you're not clicking on the channel. Open the DMs, so choose a check-in mode. Official is pretty much the standard. You use that for every single game. Sort of F1, basically the generic sort of style that you would see the check-in. The social one, all the social one does is give you basically a tick and a cross, so anybody can drive any car, any team, you name it. It's just a tick and a cross for the social side of things if you want to do like a friendly race of the weekend or something like that. But typically we'll always go through official. I'll show you both eventually, but we'll go through official. So official, you'll select game, you got F124, still incorporates that, F125, F225, you got Assetto Corsa Competizione, Assetto Corsa Evo, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Forza Motorsport, Gran Turismo 7, Automobilista 2, Le Mans Ultimate, and R Factor 2. So for testing purposes, we will go for F125. So custom cars, teams, in this situation, if you're going to use custom cars, this is when you would use the likes of F1 World Cars. So you can basically set your own team names and such. A lot of esports teams do this. But if you want to just generic F125 cars, you would set custom teams to no. Select the track, any track you like. You've got every single track there for F125, including the ones that were in talks a while back, which I'll show you. None of them ones. You can ignore France. That's been through in there anyway, just in case. So certain things like Hockenheimring, there was talks of that being added. Sepang International, same on that one. Bahrain out at certain tracks, and they've also got the reverse ones: Imola, Silverstone, Suzuka, Red Bull Ring, Monza, and Zandvoort. So we'll go for standard track. Bahrain. Select weather. So live weather takes the actual weather. It doesn't really matter for F1. Because F1 only gives you sort of dynamic, sunny, rain, heavy rain and such. Most people use dynamic, but if you ever use live weather in other sorts of games, it does actually take it from the actual live weather from the location. So in this case, Bahrain, it would actually look at the it drags an API from the weather apps and actually gets you live weather. Pretty nifty. But in the meantime, we'll use dynamic for the testing point. Select the lineup. I'll run you through the lineup as well. So you need a lineup basically for the auto seating to work. And the ping, the auto pings, which we'll go through later, you need a actual lineup for those to actually work. What it does is it basically, for the auto check-in, it actually looks for the lineup role of each driver and the team role, which again I'll look through. So we'll go for Club Sport. I'll go for podium. I got no one in the actual chat in the channel, so it's all right. So ping interval, this is how often the drivers get pinged, all automated. So in this instance, you can actually have no ping. If you don't want to bother the drivers and they're just going to check in as normal, you would check no ping. But if you actually do want to just ping them every so often, every day typically, you would choose an option here. It goes down to 72 hours, 3 days, which is fine. Typically I use 24 hours. Add any extra buttons. So if you've got extra buttons, sort of things like race control, if you want someone like that, if you want comms, or if you want some like Stuart, you got all three buttons. And the only people who can access these buttons is the staff, moderators or admin. Those are the only sort of people that you need to press these buttons, because anybody who's race control is typically staff, anybody who is commentary is typically staff, anybody who is a steward is typically staff. So all these buttons are only staff, are locked to staff. No one else can press them. So we'll add in there as well. Almost done. Finalize your check-in below. So this is the point where we add check-in name. So for this purpose, we'll do testing round 1. And then custom message. This is below the testing. We can do 50% format, short quality, just for, spell it right. Short quality. I can't spell today. Start time. So be quite relaxed with the start time, but you've got to give it a day, a month, and a year, regardless how we do it. But at the same time, you can also do pretty relaxed sort of alternative. So you can do today at 9 p.m. as long as it's not past the time. So you can do today at 9 p.m. As you can see, it is 6:06, so that will actually still show correct. You can do tomorrow at 6 p.m. Say you can do that as well. That'll work well. You can also do, what was the date? 11th. I can do the 11th of the 8th, 25 at 10 p.m. That will also work. It is based in UK format, so if you're going to do it, make sure it is, because if you do 8, 11, 25, that'll basically think it's November. So don't do that. Make sure it's UK format. But for testing purposes, we'll just do it today at 10 p.m. Image URL, you can add an image if you like. It is based on URL. At some point, I will actually change that to search gallery, maybe if you set up via phone, or like a drag and drop option. But for the time being, it is a URL which you can copy from anywhere on the website. So once you've done that, I'm going to leave it as, there is a standard URL, which you'll see. So you haven't got to worry too much, but I'll leave it at that for testing point. When should the check-in lock before the race starts? So this time, this is how what time you want it to lock. So typically, some people lock it an hour before the race. Some do it a lot later. So you can do like, quite a while. No lockout 15:30. So there's quite a long time, 1 week before and so on. But yeah, typically an hour. Select your time zone. This is necessary. So it actually does pass the time correctly for where you are. Otherwise, the time could be all over the place. But you have to select the time zone. So for myself, UK. Select the channel you want to post in. So for this point, testing channel, and that is it done. So basically, check and posted too, and there we go. So there's a check-in. You'll see is obviously testing round 1, 50% format. So you add quite a lot of detail in this point here, but for testing purposes, we'll just use the 50% format. Short quality, track variant, lineup is podium division, ping interval 24, weather dynamic. So at this point, it should eventually ping anybody who's actually got in the lineup. Could wait, but within 60 seconds it'll ping, which you'll see. Time. So yeah, start time Monday 11th August at 10 p.m, which is in 4 hours time. We'll count down. Check-in closes in 3 hours, 1 hour before race. That's what we're set to. And then you've got all your teams. I'll have the custom emojis. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it does ping. So everybody who is actually in the lineup is pinging. This is for testing only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. But as I'll show you later on, you can add as many as you want. Typically, you'll have for F1, you'll have 20 drivers, but you could include the reserves as well, depending on what you've got for roles. But for testing points, so at the moment, I'm going to check what roles I've got. So for this to actually auto seed, you've got one button. You only need to use this one button to check in or let people not racing. So I can click not racing. It'll come up here, not racing. Job done. I can click check in if I wanted to. But realistically, I know what my roles are. I'm going to show you for the time being. So owner, staff, moderator, VIP, beat that. So do I have anything? I've got Ferrari and I've got podium. So because I have those 2 roles, I should see me in the Ferrari. Where is it? It should see me there. Let's have a look. It does. If, for example, I don't have the Ferrari role, I should clear that, get rid of me, and then check in. It should put me as reserve, like so. And that's where it goes. And what happens here is, for example, if I get rid of podium as well, it should also put me in reserve. I don't need to test that because I think you'll know what I mean. So if I go back to, for example, if I have 2 roles, Ferrari, and Mercedes. And also I'm going to give myself a podium division and club sport division, which is the two lineups. This is where the actual check-in will ask you where to sit, because a lot of drivers, or some drivers, can be in two divisions, two different teams. Which, if it's two divisions, you'll find they've actually got two division names. So it could be podium division and club sport division, for example, or tier 1 or tier 2. So it could be those, and there could be two different teams, so they can't check into both. And this is the point where the bot should ask you which seat you want to sit in, which it does. So because I've got two roles, as you can see, I've got two team roles. I have Mercedes and Ferrari. It will ask me this: which team do you want to sit in? So at this point in time, you're looking at the driver's sort of discretion to decide what he wants to be in. But you'll know for himself. So for this one, Ferrari, that's where I need to be. And that's the only way around that one. There's no other way around that one, especially if you're in two tiers where there's two check-ins, but you can actually check into. But regarding that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Podium division lineup. Let's get rid of mine. Let's get rid of podium. And let's get rid of Ferrari. So I've only got Mercedes and Club Sport. Let's see what this does. Because I haven't got the podium, I've got podium. It's asking for podium division and a team name. So if I press check in, it puts me to reserve. It puts me to reserve because I don't have the podium division lineup role. I should not be here, basically. According to this, I have Club Sport and Mercedes. So according to this check-in, it knows that I should be in Club Sport division, which is not this one, and it knows I should be in the Mercedes. So if, for example, this lineup was Club Sport, then it would sit me exactly where I need to be in the Mercedes. So that is pretty much the check-in for that. You can do one for every single game, but this one is the main one for the F1.